INEC in Kaduna State, Mr. Awwal Mashi, who will brief us about the latest development. So, Sarah, it's over to you now. Tell us about what's happening in Kaduna.
Over to you.
Well, apologies there. We understand it is the Administrative Secretary of INEC who is with us right now. So, Mr. Awwal Mashi, thank you so much for your time with us. So, give us a sense of what the INEC is doing to addressing these concerns with the likes of the voters yet to cast their votes.
Now, I want to say that in Kaduna we've been good, actually very, very good. We've had our own little issues here and there yesterday, especially with respect to some of the polling units not being opened in time. We addressed them as quickly as we could. In any case, there were very few and far between, but alhamdulillah, at the end of the day, we got it right. Definitely, I am just getting a report now that there are a few polling units in one of the local governments where elections were not concluded yesterday, and the issue is being addressed as we are talking to you now. But like I said, these are issues that are not unexpected, but they are very few and far between, considering the fact that in the 23 local government areas and 255 wards that we have here in Kaduna, we have over 8,000 polling units. And in an election of this magnitude, you shouldn't expect to have it perfect. Definitely, there would be one or two little issues. But the good thing about the whole thing is that ultimately we got it right, and all is well here in Kaduna.
And there were also issues with the Beavers machine not functioning properly. Has that also been taken care of? What are your assurances that this will not, a repeat of what happened yesterday won't repeat itself today?
I don't know what you mean by Beavers machines not working well. What I do know for sure is that there are some minor issues with respect to the operationalization of the systems. By that, I mean it is not the machines themselves that were problematic, but the presiding officers responsible for operating them. They might not probably have done the right things, maybe not touching the right buttons at the right time, but definitely the machines are near perfect. The one other thing I also learned from the reports we've been receiving from the field with respect to the beavers, especially some people. I just saw your last report from one of the local governments, people being agitated that their names were not found in the beavers machines. The reality of the situation is that during the 2019 general election, Nigeria had a total of 119,974 polling units. Here in Kaduna, we had 5,910. Now, during the elections, it was realized that there were some polling units that were overbloated, overpopulated. And so we had to use what we called the voting points. Those voting points here in Kaduna totaled 2,910. I'm trying to get at the genesis of what happened with respect to people not seeing their names on the beavers machines. So what happened was that we made a lot of effort because the voting points were converted to become fully fledged polling units. So the number of polling units in Kaduna rose from just over 5,100 to a total of over 8,000. So definitely we had to undertake enlightenment, and we did that massively. In addition to that, the commission also thought it necessary to print names of the new polling units and make them public. Unfortunately, after the continuous voter registration of 2021-2022, some of the polling units were still bloated because a lot of people came up to register. During the 2019 general election, we had a total of just over 3.9 million, but now it's over 4.3 million people. So we had issues. And in trying to ameliorate such an issue, we did what is called migration. That is taking people from overpopulated polling units to polling units that were not so large. That is the genesis of the problem. In spite of the fact that we tried to make it clear to the public that such migrations have taken place, unfortunately, it seems most people did not know about, the migrations. And again, what we did, to enlighten people was that about 2 weeks or so to the election, we printed names of people that have been migrated from the polling units to the new polling units where their names have been migrated to. And we pasted them at those places. And let me just add here, the migration from, say, polling unit A to polling unit B was done in such a way that it was not far away. Basically, over 90% of the polling units were geographically contiguous. In other words, they were just a stone's throw away from the original polling units. But unfortunately, in spite of everything that we did to make the public know what had happened, it is clear that most people did not know of the migration. And that is the genesis of the problems. That is why when people went to cast their votes, they went to their original polling unit. And naturally, since their names have been taken from that polling unit to another polling unit, the beavers machine cannot read their names because the names are no more in that polling unit, but in the other polling units where their names have been migrated to. So that is the real issue that, that happens. And I'd like to use this medium to please call on the good people of Kaduna State, and indeed Nigeria where such issues arose, to please on election day go to the next polling units. Definitely there'll be a very high reduction in the incidence of people not seeing their names on the beavers machines.
All right,
so basically, it was not the fault of the beavers machines, but the fault of, I don't know who to place the fault on, but I don't want to, begin to apportion blames.
Okay.
Because this is not a time to apportion blames, but a time to enlighten the public as to what really happened.
Right.
And I want the public to please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Awwal Mashi, Administrative Secretary of INEC in Kaduna State. We appreciate your insights on the news. Well, still in Kaduna, where voting process was also smooth.